up guys, my name is Stan from Random Tens, and like the rest of the internet, I can't get enough of the new Pokemon starters. For the moment, I'm personally on Team Rowlet, but frankly all three of these new Pokemon are great additions to any team, and I swear that every time I see a new piece of gorgeous fan art, my hype levels for Sun and Moon grow faster than a Magikarp at the Lake of Rage. But even though we now know the names and designs of our new starter friends, it seems that they've somehow become even more mysterious, with speculation running rampant as the excitement only grows. And so basically I thought I'd make a video on some of the more intriguing and logical theories I've seen floating around, and put them into one place. Some of these theories are ones I've seen online, and some are of my own creation, but the important thing is to remember that none of this is confirmed. There's not going to be any fakemon or misleading information here. I'm simply taking what we know and building upon that in order to generate some predictions of what might happen. Also, even though this list is ranked, no one theory or prediction is better than the others because, again, this is all just speculation, and probably obvious speculation at that. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. Here are 5 Sun and Moon starter Pokemon theories that could end up being true. Number 5. First up, we have a prediction centered around the sassiest of the new starters, Litten. Unlike Rowlet, this Firecat Pokemon is confirmed to be a pure fire type, but if design and speculation is anything to go by, it could be adding a secondary typing as soon as its next evolution. And whatever could that secondary typing be? At this point, I would say it's all but confirmed that Litten's final evolution will be a Fire-Dark hybrid, but here's a few solid reasons as to why I think it's almost guaranteed. First, Litten has the darkest design scheme of any starter, possibly ever. If someone had have shown me this black and red striped creature with no context whatsoever, I would have probably assumed that it was a dark fire type you find halfway through the game from aesthetics alone, almost like the Houndour of Gen 7. But the other strong reason many believe Litten's evolutionary line will turn to the dark side is because of the way Game Freak has been layering their starters lately. Only time will tell, of course, but of all of the theories in this video, this one seems by far the most plausible. Number 4. As I mentioned during the intro, I'm definitely in the majority of people who have latched on to the adorable Rowlet. While I do have a soft spot for all 3 of the new starters, I really love grass-type starters in general, and on top of that, snowy owls are probably my favorite animals ever, so you can imagine how much I'm hoping that the whole Rowlet evolves into a grasshawk theory turns out to be wrong. For some reason, a large chunk of the internet is convinced that Rowlet will end up becoming a powerful bird like a falcon or a hawk, and as much as I hate to admit it, they are probably right. Imagine a bigger, greener version of Talonflame mixed with a little Pidgeot, and that's probably what we'll end up with. So why then, despite hoping this prediction is wrong, do I think it will come to fruition? Well, I find it interesting that rather than being classified as the Grass Owl Pokemon, Rowlet is officially referred to as the Grass Quill Pokemon, which to me means that despite clearly being based on an owl now, Game Freak's leaving the door open for it to evolve into literally any other type of aviary creature down the line. Now, I'm not saying it's absolute, as it's possible that its final evolution may in fact become a member of the owl species regardless. But for now, I'd say that this theory has a 50% chance of happening, and I'd wager we'll get a definitive answer as soon as we see Rowlet's mid-stage evolution in full. Number 3. This next theory is one of those things where the more you think about it, the more believable it starts to become. Sometimes the team behind Pokemon try and make certain creatures have a connective theme or a common trait that binds them. For example, Zangoose and Seviper have a long and warring history. Carbink and Diancie share the same typing and look like they belong to the same family, and if this next theory turns out to be true, then the Alola region starters are probably based on circus animals. Sounds a little strange, I know, but think about it for a second. Rowlet with its bow tie and cape-like wings is the magician. Litten is the agile feline jumping through hoops on command, and Popplio, well, Popplio is pretty self-explanatory. Am I reaching a bit? Well, admittedly yes, but when you consider that the Kalos starters all had design roots in traditional RPG classes, it starts to make sense that Game Freak would probably keep with tradition and give these brand new starters a defining theme all of their own. Just make sure not to get into the ring if you see Litten licking itself. Number 2. Speaking of Litten, this feline with attitude seems to be a lightning rod for fan speculation, as we once again have another theory on what will happen once it evolves. This one was actually sent to me on Twitter by a friend named Carter the Memer, but if you've been following Pokemon since at least Gen 3, then you've probably heard of it at some point or another. Basically, there's a persisting theory that every fire-type starter corresponds to one of the 12 animals from the Chinese zodiac. Now, some of these make sense like Pignite, and some of them seem more absurd, like Delphox being a dog. But because of this long-standing myth, a vocal minority within the Pokemon community have all but committed to the idea that Litten's final evolution will be a tiger. Now, personally, I also think that Litten will become a Fire Dark Tiger Pokemon, mostly because there's no definitive tiger-based Pokemonster yet, and I'd really love to see what Game Freak comes up with for this beastly combination. But on the other hand, even if Litten does end up turning into a tiger, I really don't think that the Chinese Zodiac comes into play here, because if it did, why would they have made a snake starter that wasn't fire 2 generations ago? Whatever the outcome though, I really do think that Litten's final evolution has the promise to be one of the most unique the series has ever seen. Now, let's just hope it doesn't end up looking like a leopard with stripes. Number 1. So, I won't lie to you guys, this next possibility is really only a theory in its loosest definition. Everything from here on out is absolute speculation with almost no logic or evidence to support it, but still, it's about time we talk about Popplio. Of the 3 new starters, this lovable sea lion has had the worst reception by far, and to be honest, it sort of seems unfair. I know that because I've already mentioned I'm Team Rowlet, that this may fall on deaf ears, but I really think that people need to give this water type a shot. When I went to Japan last fall, I actually got to experience an outdoor sea lion show, and I'll be honest, it was spectacular. These creatures are so smart and so gentle to everyone they came into contact with, and I think that maybe our unfamiliarity with them as a Western culture might be the reason this athletic Pokemon is placing dead last in every poll. And this, my friends, brings me to the final theory. I think that Popplio will end up being the most powerful and respectable starter of them all when it eventually reaches its final evolution. It's a hunch, sure, but I believe that Game Freak has a trick up its sleeve, and like Oshawott before it, Popplio is going to grow up looking almost nothing like its pre-evolution Pokemon. Now, admittedly, it does seem odd that after all of the Greninja love last gen, that Game Freak would make the very next water starter that OP, but for some reason, I have this nagging feeling that a year from now, we'll be laughing about how amazing Popplio's line ended up being. It could have the protein ability, it could be a psychic type, or it might just kick all sorts of ass. But to all of you out there who are still on the fence about this adorable sea lion, I'd suggest waiting just a little longer, because knowing Pokemon, Popplio will emerge as the king of Alola. Well, there you have it, a few interesting theories and predictions to mull over while we wait for the next piece of Pokemon Sun and Moon news. Let me know in the comment section below, or the poll to the side, which Pokemon starter you plan on raising this fall, and as I always say, happy hunting, baby rhinos. Hey guys, before I wrap this video up, there's one little thing I want to talk to you about now that Pokemonth is on the horizon. For those of you who are new to the channel, basically in July I dedicate an entire month of videos to the Pokemon series, and with 2 games releasing this November, I can only imagine this year Pokemon will be more exciting than ever. Now, that doesn't mean you'll only be seeing countdown videos like this, so don't worry, there will still be videos on collectibles, reviews, and maybe even a few speculation videos, all with a Pokemon-inspired twist. The reason I'm bringing this up so early is because I'm starting my playthrough of Pokemon Emerald probably first week of June in order to get you guys the Generation 3 review for the finale of Pokemon, and I want your guys' help. Basically, when I make my team, I like to name the Pokemon, nickname them after some of the friends of the channel, like Odd Sauce or Arcane Toaster or Roy or whatever. So in keeping with that tradition, I'd like to expand it a little bit, and this time I'm holding a little contest thing where you guys can actually choose the Pokemon I use during my Hoenn adventure. Simply leave your comment with your requested Pokemon and its nickname down below in the comments, and before I boot up my old Game Boy, I'll just pick 6 at random. Just please make sure that whatever Pokemon you choose is actually obtainable in the games, and if you can, please try to make the Pokemon actually, like, competitively viable. As much as I'd love to, beat the game using nothing but a Magikarp, I do want to be able to beat the game, and beat it relatively quickly, because I have a lot of stuff going on this summer, so, just keep that in mind, please. But yeah, so you guys can effectively pick the team I use in the playthrough that you'll see in the review, and I guess that's all for now. Sorry to just ramble, but I'm really excited for this July, and I can't wait for you guys to have a bigger part in it. So thanks for watching this video. Follow us on Twitter at randomtens if you'd like to leave a suggestion there, or just have a question or anything. Yeah, just thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.